I would like to talk to you about one of my favourite subjects, words. To be more specific, I'd like to talk to you about meaningless words. And to be even more specific still, I'd like to talk to you about meaningless words and phrases as they apply to the demolition and construction industry. I've got a stack of these, but let's start with one with which we're all familiar. Fair payment scheme. That's a phrase that gets trotted out ad nauseum in construction circles, yet it's a phrase that is utterly without meaning or substance. Fair payment scheme. Fair on who? And why on earth do we need a scheme? I've done the work, pay me what I'm owed, and we can all get on with our lives. Here's another one. Equal opportunities employer. Shouldn't that go without saying? Surely in 2025, employing and promoting people on merit rather than age, race, gender, religion, or colour is just a given. I think I'll get some agreement on this one. Competence card. Admittedly, half of that phrase, the card part, is true. But the competence part is a lie, a falsehood, a deceit, a deception, a fabrication, fakery, and a fallacy. See, I told you I love words. These cards are proof of competence in the same way that my B grade maths O level makes me a mathematician. Ergonomically designed. According to Google, this means designing products and environments that are comfortable, efficient, and safe for humans to use. Is that not the very least we should expect? How long would you last as an equipment manufacturer if your machines were uncomfortable, difficult to operate, and inherently unsafe? Procurement waiting. Again, I had to look this one up just to be absolutely certain that I wasn't doing the phrase a disservice. I wasn't. It's described as recognizing contractors who have better performance records in terms of quality, competence, sustainability, time, and cost. Sounds great in theory. In practice, the lowest bid almost always gets the gig. This is a specific demolition one. ISP or Industry Service Provider. In NFDC circles, these used to be called associate members, but they are now known as ISPs. These are equipment manufacturers, insurance companies, and consultants that provide a service to the demolition industry. They do that every day. It's what they do for a living. Always have, always will. But if they pay an annual subscription to the NFDC, they get to describe themselves as such. What a bargain, paying to proclaim that which you already are. Future proof. Bullshit. No one knows what the future holds. A few weeks ago, I believed that America was the good guy and Russia was bad. Now, apparently, they're both on the same side, and Ukraine, Greenland, and even Canada are in the US crosshairs. Even when applied to demolition and construction equipment, the term future proof is at best misleading and, at worst, disingenuous. Machines and the systems they employ change like the seasons. What's good today will likely be outmoded or obsolete in the next few years. I'll offer you a few more meaningless phrases, like a quick fire round: work life balance, mental health first aider, the voice of the demolition industry, synergy, site safety, gentleman's agreement, ease of maintenance, and understanding employer. And now we come to the phrase that was the spark that ignited the flame. The two-word phrase that inspired everything else that I've said to this point. Those two words are called upon. Can I use that phrase in a sentence? Of course I can. The Federation of Master Builders has called upon the government to introduce an industry-wide contractor licensing scheme, or, if you prefer, the National Federation of Demolition Contractors has called upon the government to rethink its refit first, demolish second mandate. Utterly meaningless in both instances. In fact, in most cases, there is no actual calling upon. Organisations, companies, and individuals don't pop into number 10 Downing Street for a quiet word with Keir Starmer. They don't write to their MP. They don't pull together anything as formal as an actual lobby. Instead, they put their calls on social media in the entirely vain hope that a media outlet, or better still, a government minister, will happen upon their post, have a sudden rethink, and make a very public U-turn. Truth be told, they're not even bothered with that. They just like to be seen to be doing something, even if that something is entirely without merit or authenticity. How do I know that called upon is without meaning and substance? I'll prove it to you. I am calling upon the government of the world to end world hunger. I'm calling upon the UK demolition industry to go a full year without a single accident or fatality. I'm calling upon Donald Trump to step aside and leave the job to someone less orange and less insane. I'm calling upon Elon Musk to organise a one-way trip to Venus for himself, Piers Morgan, Simon Cowell, Katie Hopkins, Sheridan Smith, Sam Smith, and the guy from the Go Compare adverts. I'm calling upon the powers that be in the world of football to crown West Ham United champions of Europe. And I'm calling upon supermodel Helena Christensen to give me a call regarding dinner and perhaps more. You see? Utterly pointless.